live scoring matchup of the day. Let's throw it down to the lab for our fan vote.
Hey guys, again, this is our first matchup of the Sweet 16. We've got a doozy here. Winter Soldier versus X-Men, the original X-Men that came out in 2000. Guys, again, thank you everybody for your votes. Continue to listen and watch our social media pages so you guys can go and vote. First comment is coming from John Peterson. John says, while the first X-Men is okay for its time and really showed the potential of the superhero genre to go mainstream, there's no comparison. The Winter Soldier is the best MCU movie to date and the best or one of the top comic book movies ever. I can't disagree with that. I love The Winter Soldier. I agree it is one of the best MCU movies ever. Hornacek, what are your thoughts as far as that goes?
This is one you kind of have to grade on a curve because if you want to think about how long ago X-Men was, it came out the same year as the Backstreet Boys album Millennium, which featured the hit song I Want It That Way. So yeah, that's a fucking long time ago. It paved the road for a lot of, like you said, the modern day superhero movie. Winter Soldier to me is like pretty much a masterpiece, but the X-Men movie holds a place in my heart just because of what it did for comic movies.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is definitely a top 5 Marvel movie. However, of the entire scale of superhero comic book movies, I would put it in the top 20, not the top 10. I'm just not a Captain America fan. This actually did pique my interest, though, and it was a very good movie. However, if I had a vote, and I did vote for X-Men. I thought the first X-Men was fantastic. The ending was fantastic. I know they kind of messed up Rogue and stuff, but I was a big fan of it still up to this day.
All right, guys, our next comment is coming from Jason Cohen. Jason says, Winter Soldier is the best Captain America movie, and I can't really say anything negative about it. But X-Men basically created the modern superhero genre with some of the most perfect casting imaginable. McClellan, Stewart, Jackman. It set the bar for everything that came after it. Got to give it to X-Men. Guys, again, this... Like we just said, this movie came out 17 years ago. This cast still holds up today. I think the only thing that might be better is when they added Fassbender and McAvoy to Days of Future Past. Geiger, let's throw it to you first.
Yeah, say what you will about the X-Men Fox timeline. And believe me, we have, and I have at the bar drunk that anyone that'll listen. But, however, as much as they messed up the timeline, we still care about these characters a la Logan with Patrick Stewart and Jackman. So many people went to the movie and saw that. It was a fantastic masterpiece. So just because they fuck with the timeline doesn't make us care about these characters any less. The cast is fantastic, and as you said, Banner, it only gets better with each movie. The story might get worse and be jumbled up, but the cast gets better with each movie.
Yeah, they hit a home run. I mean, Hugh Jackman was a complete unknown, and look how that worked out. So you have to give them a ton of credit. I mean, that was pretty impressive.
He's B+ at best. All right, next comment, final comment for Winter Soldier versus X-Men. We have Arthur Samuels, and he says, tough decision, but I have to give the edge to X-Men. Yeah. That one surprised me a little bit, guys, because Winter Soldier is a little bit newer. It's part of the MCU. It's more popular just in general, but yet he's giving it to the classic X-Men that, for all of its faults, is still a fantastic movie. Hornacek, what you got?
I think this is an interesting comment because I'm guessing that Arthur knows and was probably using the criteria we've used for the tournament to do this because, to me, X-Men had a huge pop culture impact. It has some great scenes and an incredible cast. So, like, it can at least hold... This is at least a respectable matchup. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing for Arthur to say.
This is a very hard one to grade because, I mean, I've been on the record. I do not like Chris Evans. I love Captain America. I just don't like him playing it. But this movie is fantastic. Winter Soldier actually made me watch it, which is hard to do for a Chris Evans movie. But it was, yeah, it's one of the top 2 best Marvel movies. I put it right up there with Guardians and the first Iron Man. It is a very tough decision. That's why we gave it to our fans, because we're pussies.
It's 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. And the fans did roar. They came in and with a score of 60-30.
Wow.
Winter Soldier doubled up X-Men.
Wow.
A little bit, not quite as close as I thought it was going to be. But nonetheless, Winter Soldier moving on They are the first team to punch their ticket to the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight.
Next fan matchup, we have Guardians of the Galaxy versus V for Vendetta.
Woo!
Guys, this was a hot matchup. All right?
Yeah, it was.
First, yes, disgustingly hot. Like disgustingly
like J-Lo
hot.
in the
Facebook, I believe.
Like J-Lo in the 90s hot.
Yeah. First comment comes from Bro4 Squad vet Dave Martin. Dave says, "It's Guardians. What should have been Marvel's first flop turned into one of its biggest movies."
Yeah, Dave and I had a little back and forth on this. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate the comment as always, because on paper, this movie could have been a complete fucking train wreck. A talking raccoon, a tree that says one word, and the whole thing takes place in outer space with no other Marvel character you've seen before. Yeah, that's pretty risky, but somehow James Gunn managed to not only make it a good movie, but I think you can make an argument for the best Marvel movie to date. So pretty impressive.
It was a 1 seed in its region.
I have nothing to say to that comment. It's perfect. It's perfect.
There you go. Great job, Dave. Next one comes in from another Bro4 Squad Hall of Famer, Scott Crowell.
Love you, Scott.
Scott, I'm going to preface this, say I'm going to try my hardest not to fuck this up. You made it easy on me, though. Scott says, Guardians of the Galaxy, it stepped up the Marvel game and made Star-Lord a mainstream comic book hero for non-comic book fans. Again, 100%. I think that we have to go into talk a little bit about acting and casting in this. Chris Pratt, at that time, wasn't hot. Jurassic World hadn't come out. A lot of these hot movies that he came out, he was basically coming off of Parks and Rec, where he just played this fat buffoon. And he got in tremendous shape and turned this character into someone that we all love. Geiger.
He was fantastic in that movie. He's perfect. I compare him to our generation's Han Solo. Is basically who he is in that movie. He's cool. He's in shape. He's funny. He does everything in that movie. He's perfect. Perfect casting.
He just doesn't wear a vest.
Yeah, that was a
he wears
fucking,
a vest, I'm pretty sure.
That was a great analogy, Geiger. I didn't heard you say that before. And you know I hate giving you credit.
You know, when I'm 3 beers deep, I just come up with shit. Most of the time, I'm right about everything I say when I'm drunk. Just ask me.
And we are drunk. Last fan comment for Guardians versus V for Vendetta is from Dominic Christina Smith Bilati. If I jumbled that up, I apologize.
All one person?
It's all one person. I mean, it might be a family, but I think it's one person.
Thank you for your comment. All right.
And they had a very interesting point of view on this one. They said, I thought V for Vendetta was terribly disappointing. That personally shocked me. Now, I didn't read the graphic novel. I'll be honest with you, I haven't read it. But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it tackled some very interesting points. Coming from somebody that I can only assume has read the graphic novel, maybe it is disappointing. Jeff, I know you love this movie.
Yeah,
so
but I do love this movie, but I can even tell you that it's a film where, like, 20 minutes in, you're either going to be on the edge of your seat, like, let's fucking go, or you're going to be like, yo, I think we can still catch, like, the 8:20 showing of fucking anything else. So you're either in or out, and the people who are out, I get it. And I think Geiger's one of the people who are out on this.
I'm the DC guy of the show. V for Vendetta is not in my DVD library. It's okay, but there's no way I'll rewatch it one time a year. It's not into it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Guys, this one was very interesting. All our comments came in support of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we're all in agreement Guardians would move on if we were deciding. A lot closer, according to the fans. Again, moving on to the Sweet 16, or from the Sweet 16, moving on to the Elite 8, Guardians 32-23. We have a reverses here.
Woo.
Very close matchup. And again,
thank you. That one up a couple hours ago, so it was tight. If you didn't get a chance to vote, make sure you check out our Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, because sometimes we just spur it on you guys. We trust you guys.
V for Vendetta covered the spread.
They did,
all that matters.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy might have shaved some points there. Okay.
But they won. That's all that matters.
We We still won the damn game, right? As Banner said, 5 criteria we grade every movie on: cast, story, best scene, effects on pop culture, and rewatchability. Highlighted game of the day: The Dark Knight taking on Superman from 1978, I believe. Dark Knight moving on to the Elite Eight, 12-3. Superman, I believe, got every point from us for effects on pulp culture since it pretty much started everything. So now, to everyone's favorite, my favorite, Jeff's favorite, Brian's favorite, and the fans' favorite, our live matchup movie of the day. Movie's ready.
Let's get it on.
The Avengers.
Calmly discuss this.
Versus X-Men, Days of Future Past. Jeff, why don't we start with you? Cast.
Days of Future Past, bro. This is a stupid fucking cast. I'm going to get through the whole thing and not even mention the corpse of Jennifer Lawrence. Although this might be her best performance as Mystique.
It is her best performance as
Stewart, McAvoy. I don't need to go on, but I will. Hugh Jackman. Peter Dinklage. We always forget to mention him in this. The dude absolutely crushes it as Boulevard Trask. Michael Fassbender and Ian McKellen. Heard of them before. Ellen Page is incredible as Kitty Pryde. Sean Ashmore's back. Halle Berry. I mean, Nicholas Hoult, lest we forget. It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry, Avengers. Everyone fits their role well, but this is Days of Future Past, bro.
Banner?
Days of Future Past. I mean, again, he just listed everybody off, and if you don't get a boner from that cast, lose my number, leave, go back to Mars.
Can we just say, I'm going to give it Days of Future Past too, can we just say Avengers? Let's just be honest, the only superstar actor, I mean, they're all good at the roles, is pretty much Downey Jr., but I would rather take Jackman over Downey Jr. Role for role, Wolverine over Iron Man. So I'm going to give it to Days of Future Past too. That's 3-0 Days of Future Past, which Avengers, I believe, is the number 2 overall seed in this tournament, number 1 in the region. Let's go to story, Jeff.
I gave this one to Avengers. The Days of Future Past story, they did a good job of doing what they could in one film to have it make sense. As a single movie, I think Geiger actually convinced me that it does make sense as one, but in the Avengers movie, to have a plot where these people assemble for the first time, to have it make sense, and it's actually a relatively condensed story, I think that could have easily been such a clusterfuck. That's why I had to give this one to Avengers.
Brian?
Yeah, I gave it to Avengers as well. I mean, it's a great story that had been building over several prior movies, and it all culminated into a nice 2.5-hour movie that made sense, and they brought the team together. We understood the stakes, and it was good. I mean, it may have been lacking a villain to an extent, but it was still a fantastic movie. Days of Future Past, it's just time travel, things like that. It's just kind of a hard story to understand in general, so I gave it to Avengers.
Banner, thank you for the segue. Yes, it did lack a villain, because we already saw Loki, and Thor already beat his ass, so why the hell should I go pay $80 to see this in 3D when there's 4 against 1? I'm giving it to Days of Future Past for 2 reasons. One, I'm a big X-Men fan. This is my favorite comic book arc from the movie. I thought they did it fantastic. It's not fair to judge it on all the other jumbled up mess. The other thing is, the only thing that wasn't true, well, there's a couple things, but one thing that's not true of the comics is everyone's like, why didn't Jubilee go back in time? It's like, why would you want to see Jubilee the whole damn movie? We got Hugh Jackman. It makes sense. He does not age. And we finally got the Sentinels. And the story works so well that they were just killing all the X-Men at the end. I love it. Days of Future Past. So, what is that? 4-2. Days of Future Past. Moving on to best scene. Jeff.
I mean, the Sentinel scene in the beginning of Days of Future Past is fucking awesome. But the Avengers assembling on the bridge, I'm not even kidding you, I was crying in the theater. It is an iconic comic book movie moment. Something that as a kid I never even dreamed that we would get to see. I had to give that best scene for me. Banner?
I had to as well. I mean, as much as I love X-Men and as much as I will go to bat for them in any other situation, that scene is so iconic, and it might go down as one of the best 30 seconds when they do the pan around of all 3 of them in all of cinema. I mean, it is definitely up there, with your Casablanca scenes. I mean, it is okay, maybe not quite that far.
What was the over-under on Casablanca references in our lives on this pod?
Under.
Definitely under. It's such an iconic scene and so well done. I had to give it to Avengers.
I'm giving it to Avengers 2, same scene. And let me just make this point. If that was their first movie, that scene wouldn't have been that cool. Are you
Wouldn't have
taking
meant the
notes?
same.
Are you taking notes? We can't have a Batman fucking Superman movie 2 years in and have a Justice League movie. You have to build up some, want to go to these movies. The Avengers, the timeline, everything. I believe it took about 8 years for them to finally assemble. Perfect scene, the way they did it. 5-4, Avengers taking the lead, going into effects on pulp culture. Jeff.
This one had to go with Avengers. I mean, they did something unprecedented. A movie that had been a culmination of, 5 solo films because Iron Man got 2. Something that I didn't even know was going to be possible in terms of like a connected universe for movies. And I think if you look at what it did, it really created. I know that X-Men is technically a shared universe, but it's really all the same characters in each movie. It has really created these shared universes. DC obviously has one. Now we have the monster universe and Universal. Now we have Kong and Godzilla in a shared universe. So it started a lot of that. To me, I had to
Split
give
and Unbreakable.
Yeah. Spoilers there. Had to give the point to Avengers.
Banner.
Look, it's March. If you haven't seen it by now, then that's on you, not on me.
Agreed.
What are we on?
And if you're listening
Impact?
to us, we did a review on it. So why?
Check that out. Yeah, pop culture.
Effects on pop culture.
Impact on pop culture. Again, I gave it to Avengers. Days of Future Past and X-Men, if you look at it from a pop culture standpoint, this was their quote-unquote way to try and reboot X-Men. But yet they molded everything. We get confused with timelines. So now, technically, X-Men X2 and X3 didn't actually happen because they changed the future. It's all fucking confused. Avengers went through and said, hey, we're going to take 4 movies or 5 movies, bring all these characters into one, and make it awesome and epic. And I think it was fantastic. They did something that nobody had ever done before, and they did it flawlessly and probably better than anybody's going to do it for a long time. Geiger?
Avengers effect on pulp culture, of course. But the thing is, 2 months ago, what would we say? Well, DC's trying to do this, and Fox is trying to do this. Fuck, now we have Midnight Shyamalan trying to do this. We have King Kong trying to do this. Everyone's trying to do what Marvel's doing. Effects on pulp culture, they're changing the whole movie landscape, man. For sure. Marvel, Avengers, 8-4, moving on to rewatchability. I'm going to go first. I gave this to Days of Future Past. I think since I saw this with Jeff on opening night, I've seen the Avengers start to finish maybe 4 times. I love Days of Future Past. It's dark. It ties both of it together. I know the timeline is so fucked up, but if you can get past that and just watch it just like you kind of did Logan. Avengers, there's no villain. It's just, I'm not into it, man. Days of Future Past for me. Jeff?
Yeah, I actually originally gave this point to Avengers, and then I thought about it throughout the course of the day and changed Days of Future Past. And I feel slightly hypocritical because I actually think I've seen Avengers more than any other movie in my life. I saw it 3 times in theaters, and I've probably seen it close to about 10 or 15 times. But Days of Future Past, I think I've seen it about 5 or 6 times the last 2 months just on FX. And I think it's because of the cast that I just can never turn away when it's on. So they're both great, and I watch them both a shit ton every chance I get, but I have to give this one to Days of Future Past. Banner?
Days of Future Past takes it.
Wow.
Takes the category, man. This is, like you said, Geiger, this is a great storyline. And if you look at it as an independent movie, it's a fantastic movie. I think this is, aside from Logan, which we have to take out of the equation because that movie wasn't out when we started this tournament, this is Hugh Jackman's best performance as Wolverine with all the prior movies. Then you take Fassbender and McClellan playing off of each other, playing the same person.
Fassbender kills it.
Absolutely destroys it. And then you have McAvoy and Stewart. That scene when they talk to each other, I almost gave that to best scene because that is such a fantastic scene where the 2 characters actually meet together. And
that's acting.
Jennifer
right there.
Lawrence, that is the acting the fuck out of it. And this is Jennifer Lawrence's best role as Mystique. It's just such a good, fun watch for me. I gave it to X-Men.
All right, man. Avengers squeaks it out barely, 8-7. Before we let X-Men Days of Future Past go, because I know a lot of people are going to think there's no way this should be this close, I actually gave it to Days of Future Past, but I was just grading this by myself 3-2. I'm just going to say, go rewatch Days of Future Past. If you think anybody in that movie, in Avengers movie, is acting on the same level as Fassbender, Stewart, McAvoy, Jackman, then you're out of your damn mind. Avengers is a very great movie. It's very fun. It's one of the best comic book movies ever. But this movie, acting-wise and story-wise, is fantastic. But Avengers moving on to the Elite Eight, along with Guardians of the Galaxy, along with Winter Soldier, and along with The Dark Knight. That'll do it for us. Check out our website, www.bro4squad.com for our bracket. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. Follow us on Twitter @Bro4Squad, and give us a like on Facebook. Until then, we'll see you next time for Sweet 16 matchups.